Well, ladies, thank you for all coming today.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, of course. It's, trust me, Medicare, it's always changing, right? Always evolving, always changing. But, really what I'm here to do today is just talk about a little bit what I do and just give you a educational aspect of what's going to be happening next year and what to expect, okay? So a little bit about me, all right? My name's Cole Stairs. I work with a little agency called Integrity Medicare Advisors, and we are throughout Massachusetts, and we help the senior population navigate through all the Medicare and mass health, health insurance, and we try to navigate, the changes and whatnot for people like you to figure out what's going on, if there's any sort of changes that you should be aware of that could impact you, right? And that's what I'm primarily here to do today, is talk about the changes and what to expect going into the next year, okay? So this is going to be pretty straightforward. It's not going to take too long. I'm just going to highlight the main points, and then, we're going to go out there and into the cafeteria after that. All right, so change is coming. All right, so let's review what happened this year. The major change was on the prescription drug side, right? 2025, part of the Inflation Reduction Act Biden put in was capping your out-of-pocket costs towards your medications to $2,000, right? Which hence was great, but what did it do? It impacted the plans where some of your drug costs started to increase a little bit, right? Especially the brand name medications, Eliquis, Xarelto, Jardiance, all those brand name medications, you saw a spike in costs for that, right? But however, once you reach that $2,000 out of pocket, that's it. You're done, right? And then you would have no more costs for the rest of the year. All right, so that was the major change this year, okay? Going into next year, it's still the same, right? That drug aspect of these plans, it's still going to be capped at $2,100 going into next year across the board. So once you reach $2,100 next year in your out-of-pocket costs towards your medications, you're done. All right, so $2,100 is the new number for next year, okay? So drug plan-wise, drug side, that's kind of remaining the same, okay? What is going to be the major change going into next year, all right? So if any of you are on the Medicare Advantage plans, right? You guys have heard of those, right? You see all those commercials, Jimmy Walker, William Shatner, all those guys, all those people, right? Oh, you can get free rides and, dental and, groceries, this and that, right? So that's kind of the plans that are going to be more impacted, right? From a standpoint of the benefits, okay? There's going to be, what you're going to notice if you do have a Medicare Advantage plan is the major cutbacks on the benefit side, okay? Dental, vision, over-the-counter, everything, right? You got those little extras included in those plans. What you're going to notice is a lot of cutbacks because back in 2022, what Medicare and the legislation was realizing was there wasn't a lot of people really going to the doctors, right? There wasn't really a lot of healthcare utilization happening within the system where they decided, the government, well, all right, there's not enough people going to the doctor, they're not utilizing it, we're going to cut back a little bit on the funding into the Medicare system, hence toward all these carriers, right? So the past couple years, it's been decreasing, right, from a standpoint of the funding to all these private Medicare Advantage plans, and what's been happening is a little bit decreased where these carriers are forced to make decisions on how they operate their plans. For instance, the increase in drug costs, right? Because with the whole new change, part of the Inflation Reduction Act was capping it at $2,000 this year. However, that increased the drug costs, right? Going into next year now, it's going to be the benefits that are going to be impacted. And you're going to notice also major copay increases on these Medicare Advantage plans, like the hospital copays, doctor's appointments. That's another thing that's also going to be increasing next year with these Medicare Advantage plans. And the Part F plans and Part D plans in general are going up. No surprise there, right? So
Part F plan?
Part F, it's a supplement plan.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So if you have any of those plans, regardless, you're going to notice a spike in costs and then a decrease on the benefit side, okay? So that is going to be my job, right? And that's why I'm here today, and in general, is to help you guys figure out what's going on, right? And figure out, do we need to do anything, right? From a standpoint of the plans and whatnot, and also see, do we qualify for any extra help, right? Because there's so many people that don't realize the help you can get with your Medicare costs, right? Because people think, oh, I have, over $2,000 in assets. Whoa, okay. You may, but there are other levels of Mass Health, the state Medicaid program, right, that can potentially help you with some of your costs depending on what your income is monthly, whether you're single, married, because there are programs out there that can be beneficial to you guys potentially, and that's why I'm here. Is usually when I do one-on-one appointments, right? Usually, in a more private setting, talk about what's going on with you and figure out, hey, is there something we can do to help you with your costs? Or it could be just simple as, you're good. We don't need to do anything because what you may currently have might be the best option for you. Okay? So that's kind of the synopsis of what's to expect for next year, guys. Okay? But I'll open it up to some little Q&A. Any kind of questions, concerns with regards to what could be potentially happening going into next year?
I have a question.
Yes.
My mother's 95.
Okay.
She's been on extra help for a long time. I've had her on that.
Oh, great.
And she has health insurance, Advantage, Tops, I think it is. I have it in my phone. But I was wondering, now in the last couple months, she's going to be at home and just stay home. She's getting home care, like nurses come to the house, take her blood, things like that.
Okay.
I don't know if I need to prepare for the future and change her plan. I think the plan she has is still perfect for her.
Right,
I didn't know.
in that circumstance, that's where like the one-on-one meeting comes into play so that we can talk about specifics if, where she is now is the best option, because when it comes to like home care stuff and planning for the future, you might potentially start getting into long-term care stuff, and then that's where Mass Health, or hence Medicaid, could potentially come into play from the standpoint of your mom, potentially needing even more hands-on help.
Right. Right
point.
now she's getting physical therapy and stuff.
Right,
like
so
that.
she has something in
Everything's
place.
like paid for, right?
Okay,
through her
so she could
insurance.
potentially already have something set up where that's being covered. I'm not necessarily sure, and that's where, specific, with the one-on-ones, we'd be able to dive in and just make sure that, let's make sure everything's okay, everything's in place, and, not try to touch it, right? Because that's the other thing, is when it comes to people that get services, right? If it's already in place, you have to if it ain't broke, right, don't fix it, right? That's the saying, right? And if you just try to do anything with it, you could potentially lead in some issues where it could impact, and that's your mom's care that she's getting right now. So that's why, be cautious as well from a standpoint of when you're figuring out what you want to do going to next year, that if you have something currently in place, like services or anything like that, we want to make sure that you're still able to keep those services if any changes are necessary. So, good question. Good question. Anything else? Questions, concerns?
So is Medicaid gonna stick around?
Medicaid it's staying around. All right, that is not changing. Okay, so Mass Health, hence the state Medicaid program, Massachusetts.
Okay.
All right, and actually, I'm glad you about that, Kathy. Let me throw out some numbers to you guys, okay, and see if potentially this could be something that we could look into as getting help with your Medicare costs. Okay, so Mass Health, there's two other levels of Mass Health aside from Mass Health Standard, Common Health, and Mass Health Safety Net, right? Those are three different levels of Mass Health, and there's different qualifications for each level, right? Mass Health Standard, you can't be over $2,000 in assets, okay? Income thresholds, you can't be over $1,305 for a single individual and no more than $1,738 for a couple. All right, so that's for Mass Health Standard. Mass Health Common Health is based off of if you have a qualified disability, right? That's the main qualification for Mass Health Common Health. If you have a qualified disability, then you'll be able to get on Mass Health Common Health. And Mass Health Standard, Mass Health Common Health, they're similar from a standpoint of what it does for you. It helps you with all their medical costs, your prescriptions, and especially also provides you with the services like the in-home health care, personal care attendant come in, medical transportation, right? Those are specifics where if people, you know anyone or any of you are potentially candidates for that, yeah, let's talk, all right? Now, for people that don't qualify for those programs, there's 2 other programs that you could potentially qualify for, okay? It's called the Medicare Savings Program. Has anyone heard of that, Medicare Savings Program? Okay, I see a head nod, okay? So the Medicare Savings Program, okay, what does it do? Okay, so the first level is called the Senior Buying Program or Qualified Medicare Beneficiary Program, okay? Income threshold to qualify for a single individual, $2,478 or less a month. Okay, that's the income threshold for a single. A couple, it's $3,349 or less a month in income. Okay, and then no asset requirement, right? Checking, saving, stocks, bonds, you can have all the assets you want. It's strictly based off your income monthly when they look at. MassHealth looks at the, application and what you put in for income, okay? But what does it do? Senior buying. So the Part B premium, $185 a month, that comes out of your Social Security checks. If you qualify for that senior buying program, state would help you pay for that, and that money would come back to you. Yes. Okay? Okay. Oh, I like that. I like excitement right there for Kathy, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing it does is you automatically qualify for extra help towards your prescription medications, right? Where you don't pay this year no more than $4.90 and then no more than $12.15 for any brand name medication. That's huge. Right? I mean, especially what I talked about earlier, how the brand name medication, a lot of these plans spiked up to a co-insurance, right? That's a huge benefit for people to help them with their medications if they have a lot of brand name stuff they're taking, right? Last is it helps you with all of your Part A and Part B co-pays, deductibles, and co-insurances. So hence, for example, Medicare Advantage plans, right? How you have co-pays for everything you do. The MassHealth Senior Buying Program would cover that. Would cover all of your co-pays. So like all your hospital, tests, doctor's appointments, that senior buying program, that would cover it. Right, that would help cover it. Okay, so it's a great benefit, and there's just not enough people that know about because of the lack of outreach to you guys in a way from not knowing, hey, you can qualify still potentially for some help, okay? The other level of the Medicare Savings Program called the regular buy-in, okay, and it does just 2 things. Helps with the Part B premium, the $185, right? They still help with that. And then you still automatically get extra help toward the prescription medications. That's it.
Pauline,
Yes.
about a couple months ago, she told me about some of that, and
Yes.
they took off the $185. I don't pay $185 anymore.
Excellent.
But then from January to when I applied, they reimbursed me that money for this year.
Yes.
They gave me the money back.
Yes,
So
there
that was
are
a big
some
help.
instances where they will backdate it 3 months.
They backdated,
They
yeah.
backdated, particularly just the regular buying, not the senior buying program, the regular buying program.
Right.
They will
Because they
reimburse
took
you.
away the $185. I
Right.
don't pay that anymore. And then
Right.
they reimbursed me for
Yeah.
what I paid for the beginning of the year. So
Right.
that was,
Yeah, no, and
And the
I'm
prescriptions are a lot
glad you brought
cheaper.
that up, right? These are the little things that can make a difference for you guys, right? Because basic necessities these days, food, water, electric, it's expensive, and there's any way you can get help. Yeah, let's look into it. Right?
everything helps,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Anything.
So, ladies, anything else, question, concern
Well, I
wise?
have concern about with the government shutdown, and I'm wondering if any of that's gonna affect the buy-in programs or the extra help.
So as of right, what if SSI is continuing to pay, people their checks and, help them with, paying for like any of the Part B premium stuff if you have help from the state paying for it. I think what the impact is gonna be is the processing of it. Potential
longer.
delays with,
Well, I'm
them.
concerned, I didn't know if it'll affect, if they don't agree to something, if we're gonna lose out on that extra help. Is that government or is that state that's doing that?
So the extra help with the prescriptions, right, that's through the federal government.
Okay, and then the buy-in,
The buy-in is
my mother's on all of that.
Right.
So-
So if she's already, it's not going to impact anyone currently on it, right? It's more for people that are newly applying for the benefits, where it's not that they won't get approved. It's just processing wise, how, depending on the employees they have available and what their timeline is looking like with processing of paperwork, there could be a delay with people just waiting to get their benefits. But as of right now, so far what I've noticed, it's been going okay. It's no impact on the health insurance side for people that are getting help
Yeah, I
with
just
their
don't
meds.
want, she's always, her premiums have always been paid, and she's always had the
Right.
discount on her insurance bill.
Right,
She's had
and-
the discount on her
And
bill
it helps
all
that
these years.
she already has it,
Yeah.
which makes it when it comes to renewal time, right? Again, big blue envelope for any of you, but by chance that has Mass Health, it's a yearly review. I always tell people this. If you get a big blue envelope in the mail,
That's a good sign.
that is a good and bad sign. Like, hey, we got to renew, because they need to know if any of your income has changed over the year. So that's another key thing. But for people currently that have the benefits, it's really just if they need to renew, they could potentially see delays. But other than that, it's going to be fine.
How do I know if she's on the Medicare Savings Program? Because to me, that's similar to,
So Mass Health. So the confusing thing with Mass Health is they administer those Medicare Savings Program and the extra help, where I would have the ability, and this is what I also do my one-on-ones, is call Mass Health, right, and just see what current benefit they have, and also when their renewal date is due, because I have the ability to do that and verify that information for people if you're just wanting
yeah,
to.
because I didn't know there was two.
It's for
Really?
the
Well-
Medicare Savings Program.
Yeah, I've never, she's been on it before, it was even called a lot of different things.
I know they keep
Years.
changing,
They
and that's
changed
the other
names,
thing. Keep
so I didn't
changing
know-
names.
I didn't know if Medicare Savings Program is the same thing she's on.
Yes.
It's a
So
new
if
name
she's
on
getting
it.
help with like the Part B premium, if she's also getting help with her co-payments, then it's probably
Yeah.
the.
But you mentioned something about the doctor's appointments or something, that part?
So for the senior
The
buying
co-pays.
program, right, that level, the Medicare Savings Program, that senior buying program, aside from the Part B premium automatically qualifying for extra help for your prescriptions from the government, you also get help with your co-payments, Part A and Part B co-pays, deductibles, and co-insurances. So on the Medicare Advantage plan, for instance, right, if someone has secondary, that Mass Health Senior Buying Program is going to be helping with the co-payment responsibility.
So she's probably already getting that, and I didn't know that.
I would imagine, because, here's the thing, here's another thing, guys. I've seen cases where people don't even realize that they have the senior buying program, and then they tell me, Cole, I just paid, my specialist office copay. I'm like, no, you have the senior buying, right? So that's where,
Well, she does pay those, like when she's.
she does.
specialist.
So depending
I didn't know
on,
if it was discounted though, or if it's.
no, so it depends. If she's only on the regular buying program and only getting help with the Part B premium, then she's gonna have the copay responsibility still on her Tufts plan. But if she has a senior buying program, then she should not be having to have any copays.
Okay.
Okay.
Probably what she doesn't have then.
Yeah,
She's
so
always had the copays.
if she has had copays, then she probably maybe only has a regular buying program. If she does have the senior buying program and is paying copays, let's have a discussion.
Yeah.
So make sure that, hey, let her doctors know I should not have a copay responsibility. Okay, yes, please.
You gave us the amount of money that you can make for the senior buy-in program. What is it for the regular buy-in?
So the regular buy-in is $2,938 a month. And then for a married couple, it's $3,966 or less a month.
Shouldn't have gotten married.
No!
Just got married Saturday.
Oh, congratulations!
I told you, single life rocks.
Oh, that's too fun. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Hey, I'm sure it's worth it though. True love is worth it, right? And save a few bucks.
I used to get the senior buy-in.
Yeah.
Then with, I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Biden did it, because I was an educator. So I had
Ah, okay.
some even though I only worked 12 years in the public school, I
But
had
you-
teacher retirement, but
Okay.
I had Social Security. But I
Okay.
would get like $200 a month from Social Security because I had
Because you have
this.
the pension.
But
right? Yeah.
now I get more from Social Security.
Because of the
so that
changes they
put me
made with,
over.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, hey, listen, it's not a bad thing.
But I
Also, if
do-
you're making decent money, right? That's
Yeah.
not that's
It-
not a bad thing.
It all, yeah.
It all
it
equals
works
out, right?
yeah.
So, but listen, that's really why I was just
Okay.
here for today. Give you guys a general overview of what's to expect for next year, and if you're looking for any potential help, this is what I'm here for. All right, I'm here every Wednesday, so if anyone wants to meet with me one-on-one, we can certainly do that. You're more than welcome to.
So it's you who's here every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday, yeah, every Wednesday.
We have
The
our
9
day at
o'clock
9 o'clock next
Integrity
Wednesday.
Medicare advice?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'll give you guys my cards and everything just so that you have it.
Because
And
my PPO is ended,
Oh.
is ending,
okay, is it the Tufts PPO by chance?
Blue Cross.
Oh, it's Blue Cross. Okay. Well, yeah. Again, this is where we'll talk about specifics one-on-one. For what we may potentially need to do. So,
Yeah, I just got something in the mail last
Mine,
week.
I have that too. I'm losing mine, so now I have to pay for a premium.
My friend told me the same thing.
Yeah.
She wasn't part of the Blue Cross Blue Shield.
yeah, I know, guys, but
But
listen.
there's another option, so you just
So
have
we
to
call
call.
you to make an appointment?
Yeah, you can either call or call Debbie. I'm not
Okay.
sure who does the scheduling here, if it's Debbie or Michelle. But regardless, you can call here, and I'll give you guys my cards just so that you can.
That like the Victoria.
Yeah, no, I'll give you guys some cards.
Are you here at a certain time, or you just?
So annual enrollment period, I'll be here 9 to 1. So every Wednesday, and listen, if you can't do Wednesday, just call me directly, and I can do a separate appointment where I can go to your house, meet at Dunkin's, wherever you're most comfortable. I go anywhere, everywhere. I go all over the state. I'm actually been going out to the Berkshires in the next couple of weeks,
Oh,
so
wow.
I go everywhere. So wherever I'm needed, help-wise, this is what I want to do: is help the senior community.
I take care of my mom in the morning, so it's a lot harder in the morning for me, so afternoon.
Yeah, no, afternoon, absolutely. So, ladies, thank you.